in preparation for Leagues 3, we will be chopping wood. Here is an example of a leaked relic. Jagex has been doing a cool thing, you know, they're pulling a new philosophy all of a sudden. They told us that they were going to be releasing a lot less information than last league. All of a sudden, we've got some new treasure trails that the community got together to crack, to figure out. And the point of this video is not to go over that journey. We'll do that in another video. This one, we're going to talk about the 2 relic fragments that have been released so far and talk about how strong they are, how useful they are. We know that the relic system is going to work a little bit different this time. This time around, we're going to have fragments. We're going to be able to activate them and deactivate them. When you're training agility, you're going to want to consider turning on the Golden Brick Road fragment or equipping it or whatever verb is necessary or most applicable to what's going on here. I don't even really know yet. Let's just say activate. At level 1, whenever you get a Mark of Grace, you also get 4K. A ringing question, a very repeated question in every single league so far. And I've tried to answer in videos, but honestly, I think my videos on the subject were pretty bad, admittedly, in the past couple of years. But the question is this: how do I make money in leagues? Because I'm a fresh new Iron Man and I have no idea how to get money because I only play a main account in the normal game. So a lot of people don't know how to get money. This time around, they thought of a way to give the player more money. It's pretty natural because they combined it with the skilling method. In Leagues 1 and 2 thus far, they had trees, skill trees of fragments where you had to make choices going down, and that would make your account unique, and you chose the one that seemed to be best suited to your strategy. This time around, there's less restrictions, which makes a lot of sense. The Leagues 3 philosophy is actually kind of cool to think about, where they've designed all of this content, they've designed all of these fragments, and rather than having a third of the player base that happens to go all the way through the designed content, experience only a third of the possible combinations, or not even that, when you consider, you know, permutations of the different combinations of relics, then every single player had like a really unique time in leagues, which is a good thing. But ultimately, when you spend all that time developing these different fragments and thinking about the different strategies that they could create, you want the players to be able to experience all that. Or I guess Jagex does this time. It does not cost points to upgrade fragments. You can either train them or you can get duplicate fragments. I think it's going to take a lot of people a long time to understand how this is going to work, but it's kind of cool. Unlock fragments and then just train skills, and you'll be slowly training those relics. Each of your fragments is pretty much like a new skill in itself that you can max out to level 3 on it. So here's the question that comes to mind. One of my high-level Iron Man friends is very negative about how important money is on an Iron Man. These leagues, this is an exciting thing. I'm really looking forward to making a dedicated video on how these relics actually work. I want to make a strategy guide on how to get relics early and often, because we know that you gain relics based on getting big experience drops. Those activities where you get bigger experience drops, I think are going to be more valuable than getting a lot of small experience drops. I think we just need to pause for a second and think about the nature of what's going on with these fragments and these relics. How is it different? How does it compare to the previous leagues? Welcome to what the skill tree looked like for Twisted League. We had a series of 5 stages, and you could pick, you know, one of 3 things. So you would end up making a trail that was something like here to this one to that one, you know? And that was your path. That's what you got to take. That was your skill tree. A very similar thing in Trailblazer, but there were 6 tiers. But it was the same thing, you know? Pick one, pick one, pick one, pick one, pick one. This time it's not going to be like that. There's going to be a much more complex journey through the skill tree, and it's not really a skill tree this time. It's more like a skill melting pot, fragment, just soup. This is what Leagues 3 is more like. You're running around, playing the game, having a good time. Maybe you chop a tree. Boom! All of a sudden, in your inventory appears a little baby level 1 woodcutting relic. Every time you chop a tree, a log, there's a 5% chance that it's doubled and automatically sent to your bank. Okay, that's like the level 1 fragment. That's not, I don't have any confirmation on that, but that might be an example of a relic this time around. You'll notice that each fragment, especially at level 1, is pretty dang weak. It changes the game in a fun, interesting way, but it's not crazy this time around. Instead of you choosing about 6 really strong things, there's 70 like really weak things, but you get to have a collection of 5 of them at a time. Okay, so I've just picked my 5 relics, and these are attached to my character. As I'm training particular skills, every single one of my fragments is tracking experience. So some of them are still level 1. Some of them have gotten to level 2 and are doing even better things for me. This is actually really exciting. Maybe I've even maxed one out. And then maybe I'm gonna switch activities, okay? I was doing efficient woodcutting training, but I'm gonna switch right now. And instead of doing all the things that help me out with woodcutting, maybe I've got one fragment that increases my experience while skilling, and another one that increases my output, and another one that automatically banks the logs for me. I'm instead deciding that instead of woodcutting, I want to go train Slayer. Well, obviously I don't need these relics anymore, these particular ones, because they're not going to do me any good. Instead, I'm going to swap them out. I'm going to keep this one because this is obviously my infinite run fragment. Probably not. That's probably just a passive one at the end of the day. But I switched them out to switch to my Slayer setup instead. So it's going to be really cool. And you're going to be able to combine all kinds of different fragments. The thing is that it's not going to be so cut and dry. Rather than having 5 individual options, you're also going to be wanting to look for different fragments that have a set bonus. And this, my friends, is where the true, like, this is where the parallel to the other league trees comes in. Because I believe that it's going to be these sets, these ones that really synergize together. Not only will they synergize together, but they'll give you an entirely new set of passive effects that they also produce. It's these sets that are going to feel as powerful as the old relics. Set effects become active once the player has equipped enough fragments from the same set. Each set effect requires a varying amount of fragments, and there may be multiple tiers within each set. This is a hypothesis. There's 7 ranging relics in the game. That might be a little bit high, but all these other ones are either magic, or they're scaling, or they're miscellaneous, or they're utility. And in my slots, I'm going to go and equip 3 range relics. Suddenly I'm getting the range set effect bonus. It's probably doing something like conserving my ammo, like 90% of my ammo, and increasing my accuracy by 15%, and increasing my damage by 15%. Something like that. So you can see how this is going to be a bit more complex than Trailblazer, than Twisted League. But it's also going to give the player a lot of power to make smart decisions and to do cool things. We now know what 2 of these fragments are. 2 of them have been confirmed to be Golden Brick Road. The second one that we have found out is called Mother's Magic Fossils. Let's take a second to look at that. Mother's Magic Fossils. As soon as you get this at level 1, the chance of obtaining fossils on Fossil Island and Motherlode Mine, gold nuggets, okay, all right, are increased by 100%. Mage training arena points received are increased by 100%, and then it just easily goes down to by 200% and 300%. This one is really exciting. This means that they took the feedback from the previous league. This is just an example of a fragment that says, we hear you, we know that you don't want to have extremely boosted experience rates in one part of the game and then have to go do the original, long, unbelievably tedious and horrible grind that is Mage Training Arena or Motherlode Mine. Motherlode Mine, I hate. I've done it twice because I did it in the main game and I did it in Trailblazer. Yes. So I'm glad that it's going to be shorter this time around. And I think that you can guarantee which one is going to be the shortest, because if you get Mother's Magic fossils and then you can choose what's your favorite grind. Is it to go and get as many fossils as possible? Therefore, probably that's how you increase the experience of this one. And then do you want to go to Motherlode Mine and then increase the experience even more? By the time you get to Mage Training Arena, you already have a level 3 Mother's Magic Fossils Fragment, and then you only have to do Mage Training Arena for a third of the time that you normally would. Increased by 300%. It's 4 times faster. It takes a fourth of the time. If other fragments have these similar ideas and are varied in content, it seems like there's going to be even more path choosing when it comes to doing things that you enjoy. You might look at these 3 options and say to yourself, now, which one takes the longest of these 3? Which one is the shortest? I'll do the shortest one so that the longer ones take less time and it's the most efficient path. Or you can look at it in a way where you say, I'm going to do the one that I have the most fun with, or is the most AFK. So I said that we were going to look at Golden Brick Road a little bit further. Let's try to do some math, some estimates. How much money are we going to get? There's a couple of things to keep in mind when we're talking about how many laps we're planning on doing. There's an efficient way to get Marks of Grace, and it's by being on the correct rooftop course. If you are too high leveled, you will get a reduced amount of Marks of Grace on lower leveled rooftop courses. So the things that we're going to consider are level threshold on each course, tasks per course, experience rates, I guess. So since we know that we're getting somewhat copy and pasted tasks over from Trailblazer, we can say some things. So the reason that I wrote out 260 marks for full graceful is just because getting full graceful is very likely a task. So some examples of Trailblazer tasks that have happened in the past are 50 laps of any course. There's also 250. These are so negligible because who wouldn't just do this? 30 laps of Drainer. I'm just collecting all of these. There seems to be a pattern emerging where you really don't have to do like a lot of laps of different kinds. It's just go do the content. Go do it once. Just, based on my memory, I thought potentially there was more tasks concerning doing multiple laps of each individual course, but no. The only course that you have to do individually multiple laps of is Drainer. I think it's a lot of people's early-ish choice to go there anyway, because it's just an easy place to go train agility. You do need level 10 agility to train there, and for the first time in leagues, Jagex is not required to boost our agility on spawn because we're going to have the option to go anywhere. So we're going to be allowed to train at level 1 agility training methods. I'm going to do a calculation right now. The worst case scenario of training agility, of just having like a 5 times experience multiplier going all the way up. What it would be like to get this fragment and then train agility all the way through with it and see how much GP you would come up with. All right, everybody. You are in an agility locked Leagues 3 account. Not really, but this is a hypothetical situation. You spawn right here in Arty, you get the backstory from the Sage, or whatever the new NPC's name is going to be, and you decide that it's worth your time to run north, run through here, go to Gnome Village, and do the agility training course. Boom, you've completed your first task immediately, because it's definitely going to be a task to complete this Gnome course at least once. It's going to give you 10 points. Boom, you've gotten 10 points. Maybe you got extraordinarily lucky, and they gave you the Golden Bridge fragment immediately. So let's say you do a couple of laps and you're immediately level 10 agility. You decide it's time to get yourself to Drainer. You can't use Lumbridge Teleport, and you can't die to get over to Drainer faster, because both of those things would take you back to Spawn Town, which is already in this example. So what's a good way to get to Drainer? The first thing that comes to mind is running all the way back down, finding a man, maybe the one in this house, the upstairs of this building right here, getting GP and taking this to Remington. Yeah, okay, so experienced players have nightmares logging into new accounts. They try to teleport to Tithe Farm, they try to teleport to Barbarian Assault, they try to go to Fishing Trawler, and you can't teleport to any of those without unlocking skills or going to the location or something like that. I think one way to get to Remington is just going to this minigame teleport, the grouping teleport is what it's called now, and just teleporting straight to Soul Wars right away. I think that there's a possibility that you're able to do that. Then you'd exit, you'd end up in Edgeville, and then you'd have just a running trip south, and it's not that far, especially if we have unlimited run unlocked. Clan Wars is another possibility that would also get you to Soul Wars as well. We have spawned in Artie, we ran to Gnome Stronghold, we got level 10 agility right away, and we got so lucky, we got the Golden Brick Road fragment immediately, so we're gonna go train agility all the way to getting full graceful. Step number 1, we're going to Drainer. Drop rates of Marks of Grace are a lot more random and a lot more varied than I expected, and there's not very good information in general on it. The deeper that I go into this, the more I realize it matters less and less. A lot of people are not even going to end up training at agility for the purpose of training agility at any of these places at all. At a ×5 experience rate, if you show up at Drainer at level 10 agility, it will take you 21. No. This is crazy. If you luck out and get the Golden Brick Road fragment somehow, and then you go straight to Drainer, you're level 10 agility, you're on the Drainer course. It'll take you about 5 laps to get to level 20 and therefore qualified to run the Alcarid course. Is it worth it to walk there? No, absolutely not. If you do 21 laps, you'll be a high enough level to the Varrock course, level 30 agility. Should you run there? Also no. You should wait at least until you get 1 Mark of Grace, get enough money that you can, which you'd have after just a single Mark of Grace, to buy a Chronicle and teleport cards, and you could teleport right to Varrock. That's fun, and that's cool. The only reason you would end up going to Alcarid is to get an easy task done. So going here and running the agility course once would end you up with 10 points and another task complete. I wouldn't say go out of your way for it. It's just a single task. It's just 10 points. But when you're in the area, when you go over to the desert, do a lap. So you're likely going to be doing 0 laps here. Now, the problem with getting to level 20 or getting to level 30 and it being only 5 to 21 laps is that it's under 30. And I believe that there is a task in connection with specifically the Drainer course. Who knows if it'll be around in Leagues 3. It was in Trailblazer, though, that there is a task to do 30 laps in Drainer. You'll be like 32 agility or something like that. There is no information on the internet on how many Marks of Grace that you'll get, but I'm gonna go and make an assumption that you would get 2. 2 marks. Let's say that you're super lucky, you get at least 1 mark. You have the Golden Brick Road fragment, so you have 4 KGP, you have 8 KGP because you're level 1. You buy the teleport and you run over to Varrock immediately. We're still at a point where we're getting only ×5 experience rates. This is assuming so much. This is assuming that you're doing it early in the game, but we're running the numbers anyway for fun. It's fun. So, Varrock, the goal now is to get to level 40, which is 20 laps, which is going to get you, like, probably 1, but let's say Drainer was actually 2 to 3, and Varrock is 1 to 2. Let's just say you're going to get another 2 or 3 marks from Varrock. We're presented with a huge problem at this point in the calculation. If we're going to unlock Canifis, we need to unlock a lot of other things, potentially. You can unlock combat, and then get all the materials for the quest with just combat. It involves getting pure essence from monster drops. Or you can go and do rune mysteries and unlock mining and unlock combat, because you have to do combat in the quest anyway. And there is a chance that that is more efficient. And it costs a lot of points, so meanwhile you're going to have to go do other tasks to get all this done as well. Regardless, we really don't have to care. Our focus is on the money. Let's just think about how many Canifis laps we have to do. So we go to Canifis. Canifis is famously the first course that you go to where you finally start getting like a lot of marks, but you still won't get that many marks because we just won't spend very much time here. We're going to be going from level 40-ish agility to level 60. I don't know how many laps it is, but it's about 65 marks. An interesting mechanic when it comes to marks of grace is that doing agility tick perfectly, you actually reduce the number of marks of grace that you get. So if you spend time doing another activity, you could increase your marks per lap, but you would never increase your marks per time. So since we just got 65 marks from Canifis, we are skipping Falador. Someday when you pass by Falador, you'll do a single lap to do a medium task. I believe that's a medium task and 50 points. You go straight to Sears. There's a huge thing here. A big reason that people go to Sears for efficient marks is because the Kandarin Diary boosts mark rates at Sears. Now we need to consider, have we done the diary yet? That's a very big time commitment. What stage of the diary have we done? Because there's different percentages rewarded for easy, medium, and hard. But instead of saying at this point that we're just going from 1 to 99 agility at rooftops and getting GP, let's just say that we have progressed a little bit at this point. Maybe an average player would have done like the medium diary. So they're getting a little bit of boosted marks, but not as much as they possibly could. So all these things said, maybe you're the type of player that will spend a little bit of time here at Sears without Kandarin Hard done. And Kandarin Hard does more than just increase the mark rate. It also unlocks the Sears Bank teleport. So that's kind of big. And now we're getting into an even more specific zone, and this is going to apply to less and less people, but I'm still interested in this. So it's actually efficient to go only to level 70 and then actually run the Polnivnich course from level 70 to get the most marks of grace possible. Now, to get to level 70 from 60, we need 737,000 experience total. Let's just throw this on here for notes. That's 3 hours. This is going to be 2 hours. Assuming we've got like the medium-ish Kandarin diary, we'll say that that about matches the drop rate. So we're going to get a solid 40 marks here from these 2 hours. We finally are going into the desert. So you're going to go to the desert. You're going to run 1 Alcurid lap at this point at level 70. And then you're going to run to Polnivnich. You're going to use a little bit of the money from the just huge piles of money that you have at this point. Let's just do a small calculation. You've gotten about 110 marks. And you're probably level 2 after 50 marks. Let's say it like that. This has produced about 550 KGP at this point. The more you go over this, the worse the fragment seems. I agree. The goal is now to probably get to level 80. And we'll say that that gives you 100 marks. And that's an extra 700k right there. You're probably level 3 relic at that point. Let's just say, 25 of those were at level 3. So we're going to start piling in the cash. Guesstimate, you've made about 1.5 mil on the way to 80 agility. This is all assuming times 5 experience rates, which means by the time we get to these high levels, nobody should be doing this at this high level. By the time you get to these high courses, you're going to be gaining less money. By the way, this 1.5 mil is cumulative for the entire journey. So, I mean, I could finish this out and say that by the time you get to 99, you'll make something like 5 mil, assuming ×5 experience rates the whole way. But nobody should be going for 99 agility off the bat. It's foolish to do a 99 grind before you have probably all of the passive experience multipliers unlocked. So you don't want to be doing this high level stuff at ×5. You want to be waiting until you're at like ×20. So for that reason, I'm not even going to do these and put a number out. It doesn't really make much sense. The utility of this fragment, even at level 3, it's not very much. It's kind of fun, I will say, that we get a little extra reward. What's the point of marks of grace in the terms of game design? It makes it so that when you're doing a repetitive running in a circle activity, which is not fun at all, it makes it a little bit more fun because it adds a little RNG, a little tiny reward once in a while. This fragment multiplies that principle. So the biggest reason for this fragment is really to make you have a little bit more fun in leagues. It's really not going to help you get GP very much. I didn't really think that there was this much to say about the Golden Brick Road relic, but you know, here we are. Welcome to the We Skill Now channel. We're gonna say way too much. Basically, you want the relic and you want it active when going for marks of grace tasks, but you don't want to base a strategy around it. You know what? I think that was so well put. The bigger of the two fragments that we have, I would say, is Mother's Magic Fossils. So we can look at that one too. I don't know what math to really dig into on this one, but let's just give an opinion right here, right now, and say what order you should probably do these things in. So, I mean, I have a personal hatred of Mage Training Arena. There's a part of me that thinks, oh, it's not so bad. But then you really think about how long it takes just to get Bones to Peaches. It takes a lot of points to get the things. So in my mind, it's a huge candidate to wait to do Mage Training Arena until you have level 3 Mother's Magic Fossils fragment. A couple of factors when it comes to Mage Training Arena that would make me say, let's put it at the end, let's hold off on this. It's because it takes a long time and it's extremely tedious. Number 2, you have to collect runes in order to get those points. So it's going to cost you 1/4 of the resources to do. Motherlode Mine Gold Nuggets ×2 is a really intriguing one to do first. The reason being is that it's got very low requirements. It's the easiest thing to do here. It's also the most AFK. So doing Motherlode Mine first and getting double golden nuggets to complete Falador hard, twice as fast as normal, is really good. You're going to also be obviously training up the fossil fragment here while doing that. So that's a good thing. So as much as it pains me to say, I might do Motherlode Mine first. The reason it pains me is because I don't like Motherlode Mine. I don't like this content. Almost none of this. But Motherlode Mine, doing it at least twice as fast, is going to be a welcome change. It's 5 times experience, at least. It's ×2 rewards, at least. So that's really good. That's really good to see. Like, you can do a lot of different things to get fossils. Fossil Island was designed to be medium level content. So stuff that you're not supposed to be doing like right out the gate. Doing Irby, you know, you need a decently high hunter level to do Irby. So that's reasonable. You need a kind of high-ish woodcutting level to go and do Soliceps efficiently. You need to train combat just like a little bit to go do Ammonite crabs. And those are kind of like the fossil gathering activities that come to mind when I think about getting fossils. So in my mind right now, go do Motherlode Mine first, then do fossils, then finally go do Mage Training Arena when you want to get around to doing Lumbridge Hard Diaries. That's my initial thought here. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. We're going to be doing more Leagues content. You can hit the subscribe button for more. You can join my Discord to find other people that are also talking about Leagues. Okay, thanks, bye.